What was normal 20 to 30 years ago, but is considered a luxury now. Items not requiring a subscription each month. Also, every little appliance you purchase requiring some app or your email to verify your identity just to use the thing. You're a coffee maker. You don't need my email, you just need to make me a coffee once every 3 mornings. Good quality fabric and clothing. I have clothes from the 90s and 80s from my mother that still hold up today. These days, I'm lucky if my shirt isn't saggy and misshapen within a year. Women's clothes are terrible in quality anymore. Everything seems so very thin. I'm not fat, but I'm not skinny either. I don't want people seeing my excess. I need thicker clothing. And pockets. Getting things repaired instead of buying new. I have a hedge trimmer from the 50s. It broke a few weeks ago, so I pulled out some screws and fixed its simple mechanical motor. Works fine again. Privacy. It's not that I expect privacy in public, but I shouldn't have to worry about being in someone's video photo on my way to do the laundry either. I don't know why people want to film themselves doing laundry. Or gym locker rooms. Put your camera away. I don't care that you got a good pump going and this is when you look good. It's a fucking locker room and you don't have the right. Oh, you don't have the right. My gym has a designated posing room with mirrors and selfie tripods and flattering lighting. I'm not kidding, but it's a bodybuilding mecha type gym for serious lifters, and it really solved the issue of everyone blocking the dumbbell rack by posing in front of the mirrors. Farmers markets. You used to be able to go down and get fruit and vegetables cheaper than the grocery store. Now it seems like they charge 3x more than stores do. Not being expected to be reachable 24/7. Why pay for a phone if you're not going to use it? I pay for the mobile computer the phone is attached to. The phone is just one of thousands of functions. I recently decided to keep my phone on silent at all times. Not vibrate, silent. I check it when I want and not when it goes off. It's made my daily life much better. Single-income families buying a home. Buying a home in general. New furniture made out of real wood. Nothing angers me more than paying luxury prices for fiberboard-framed garbage. Being left the fuck alone. Buying something and just owning it. Playing a video game without an internet connection. Not having to provide your email address for every single fucking thing you do. Yet try getting a quick haircut. What's your phone number? Me, no, I just want my haircut. But we need it for our tracking. How about an email address? Me, no, I just want a haircut. And suddenly people are looking at you like you are a dick. I have even tried the whole, no thanks, I just want a haircut. It doesn't matter, they are still going to continue asking. I now just make up random shit. Best part is I go to the same place, and they know my face and give me the squinted eyes. Had this sorta happen at the grocery store. I don't like using the self-checkouts, and I honestly think it's healthy to practice just being bored waiting without looking at my phone. I was standing in line for the cashier and an employee wandered over. Them, hey, let's get you set up on a self-checkout line. Me, no thanks, I'm good. Them, it's really no trouble, follow me. Me, stays in line. Nah, I'm good but thanks. Them, now looking visibly annoyed. Seriously, it's faster. Me, yep. I know. Thanks. They then walked away but came back a few minutes later and tried to convince me again. Like, my dude, not everything needs to be efficient and tech-based. I spend my entire day in front of a computer. It's healthy and normal for me to want to have some human interaction today with the cashier. It's frustrating how many companies and employees now see your consent as a formality rather than something to actually respect. Being able to afford having only one person working in a relationship. Yeah, my dad as a college dropout restaurant manager made 6 figures, had 2 houses and 2 new cars in the 1980s. Mom just raised us kids. 35 years later my wife and I have 2 bachelors and a master's between us, 3 jobs and can just barely afford a house that's 50% the size of one of my parents' houses from the 80s. We make less combined than our dads did alone with no degrees. Calling a company and getting a person on the other end of the phone. Now literally having to fight the IVR, and God help you because they've now enabled the robot lady to just straight hang up on your ass. You've made too many invalid selections. This call will now be disconnected, goodbye. What? Bullshitting your homies on the playground. Had this revelation last week when talking to my nephew. His friend told some blatant lie, I guess, 9-year-old, and everyone pulled out their brand new iPhones to Google his lying ass. Remember when someone would say something and you just believed them? Even if you didn't, you were in for an hour-long argument on how it wasn't possible for Marilyn Manson to remove his ribs to suck his own dick. It is a luxury because it takes either credit or popularity to just be believed these days. Shit, I doubted half my professors just because they were old. Owning the software you purchased. I remember as a kid, where I lived, they would allow people to just visit an area of the airport from where they could see the runway and flights take off. They didn't have to pay anything for it. People would spend hours just looking at flights take off and land. Getting a handwritten letter. I actually got one from a Jehovah's Witness last week. Feels like they started this during COVID when going door to door wasn't recommended. Legroom on an airplane. Having a meal on a flight as well. Family vacations. I remember going on road trips regularly, and even flying once or twice as a kid. Now that I have kids, there's no way I can afford a week-long trip to the Badlands, Grand Canyon, Disney Universal Studios, etc. Best I can do is a day trip to the Dells maybe once a year. I'm about to take a small road trip with my kids, and yeah, definitely too expensive to do anything much that isn't free or low cost. We only have 2 full days to have our fun because we can't afford to have a hotel the entire week, even though we are pretty much only spending money on food and gas for the activities planned. Luckily, my kids are too young to care a whole lot, but it's frustrating to my husband and I. We really wanted a vacation, and this is all we can do. Disneyland or anything of that nature is not going to happen anytime soon, if at all. Pork belly. Used to be a bad cut of meat that was disposed of or given to the poor for dirt cheap prices. Then rich people realized that the poor made it delicious, which then caused prices to skyrocket. Same with chicken thighs, brisket, and ribs. All the cheap barbecue cuts are expensive now. It's everything, even oxtail and short ribs are expensive now. I miss the days of dirt cheap brisket. Paying no more than 30% of your income in rent. Leaving your family behind to start your life at 18 or even younger. Now, folks be living with their parents until they're 45, saving up for 100 square feet closet that costs $2,000 a month in what barely passes as not a slum. 1. Games that released mostly complete, stable. 2. Games that didn't have microtransactions. 3. Games that are not live service garbage that dies less than a year later. 4. Games that you unlock content cosmetics through actually playing the game, and not by excessively grindy progression systems, to entice you to buy XP boosts, i.e. time skips, or buy microtransactions. Avoiding people by simply not answering the landline phone. This would make the person calling assume you are just not home. We introverts no longer have this luxury with cell phones, texting, online, status when logged into a PC so coworkers can IM you, etc. Being able to go out every Friday after work and being able to afford it. Went out with my cousin. Bought food, for drinks for myself and my fiancé. Came up to $120. Going out got freaking expensive. Concert ticket prices. Photographs on actual photographic paper. I know it's still possible, but oh so rare. Going to the doctor. I'm 28, but even when I was a kid you could go to the doctor when you were sick or hurt. Now I won't go to the doctor unless I'm dead. Your kid's not getting shot at school. Nothing. 30 years ago the stores were empty, so even if you had money you needed connections to get what you wanted. You needed access to the black market for dishwasher liquid. Chocolate and oranges were Christmas presents for almost every child born in the late 80s, and bananas were such a luxury when they started appearing year-round. People were acting like they're insane when they saw them. If you wanted to travel, you needed to apply for visas for literally everywhere. 30 years ago life was a horror show. Now you don't even need a passport to travel to almost 40+ countries, just pack your shit and go. Vacation in Greece? Start the car and you'll be on the beach in 4 hours. Venice Carnival? No problem, just get the plane tickets while they're cheaper than the petrol to the airport. Gotta ask where you live because none of this is true for me. Bulgaria. 1993, 30 years ago, was the end of the second post-communist economic collapse. The next one, the third and last one, would begin in 1996 and end in 1999. Not getting felt up at airports. Boredom. There's always something to take your attention nowadays. There's literal lifetimes of entertainment on a single streaming service. Phones. There's tons of free and cheap games that can just eat hours of your time. Social media. YouTube, etc., etc., etc. 20 to 30 years ago, if there was nothing you wanted to watch on TV, you either sat through it or found something else to do. Games had to be bought in stores, so it was more of a process buying them. Once you had them, you committed to it or bought a new game. Sometimes there was just legitimately nothing to do. You had to get creative with your downtime. Make your own fun. Right now, I'm struggling just to own a dog. Decent dog food is insanely expensive right now. Dog parks are not for every dog, but they're the only space to let your dog play if you don't have a yard or can't walk due to the pavement being too hot, providing the park has shaded areas and water access, which is hit or miss. Vets keep raising their prices to keep up with inflation, which is making it so much harder to keep up with basic care. Same with licensing. Quality dog toys are at least $20 and often don't last as long as I would like for my heavy chewer. Grooming is costly, flea and tick protection is costly, treats are costly. Everything about owning a dog is so much more than it used to be, even though canine care wasn't as quality as it is now. Heck, my first dog didn't cost this much to care for, and he was a frequent flyer at the vet for his health issues. What was normal 20 to 30 years ago but is considered a luxury now? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.